Okay, so the end of time. I haven't bothered saying hello because I really can't be bothered. So yeah, I really enjoyed this story. It was just magnificent. I just loved the way it was directed, the way it was produced, the way the Time Lords were brought back, the way the Master was brought back, the way David left. It was just all so good. Except at parts it does kind of seem to drag. Not sure why, it just feels that way. Now my favourite scene is easily the bit where the Master's got his blue energy and he's doing that, and getting it at the Master. So at Rassilon, it was just beautifully directed. It was just lovely. It just shows how much, even though the Master hates the Doctor, he still wants the Doctor, even though the Master loves putting the Doctor in pain, he still wants the Doctor to be alive, if you know what I mean. Because he just, they just kind of, I wanted to say they really get on, but they don't really get on, do they, whatsoever. So Timothy Dalton as Rassilon, easily one of the greatest actors in this story, in my opinion anyway. He's just a great actor, and he really played Rassilon in such a good way. Yeah. And also John Sim, again, very good as the Master. Not as good as my favourite Master, who was Wedge Delgado, Third Doctor's Master. And I've written down here that it would be really nice if the Doctor, if in the Day of the Doctor they had the Master, and they could have had two Masters. They could have had the original Master who was originally fighting the Time War, and then obviously right at the end we believe that the Master was sent into the Time War with Rassilon. So there could have been two Masters in that Time War, unless the Master was sent back to a time in the Time War in which he'd already ran away, his past self had already ran away. But they still could have had two Masters in the special. But I still really enjoyed the Day of the Doctor, either way. And underneath the Untempered Schism, I think that's what it's called, whatever the hell it's called. They have actually got a seal of Rassilon underneath, which was really nice. The old series seal of Rassilon, not the horrible new series one, because I hate that. So I know this was a short review, but yeah, I don't know what else to say. I really don't. I've written loads on this. I've written that, all of that. So yeah, I've written a bit more underneath, but yeah, I'll just go into a bit more detail about the ending with all the companions. I did like most of it. I don't think it was all that necessary. They could have cut a bit of time down with that, because it wasn't obviously too necessary. It was nice to actually have it. Other than the bit with Rose, I suppose the bit with Rose wasn't too bad, as it was. I suppose it was only a cameo. I think it's a cameo. I'm guessing it is. So yeah, the bit with Joan Redfern's one of her what's the opposite to an ancestor? I don't know, a bit down the line from Joan Redfern from the family of blood. There's this woman, I can't remember her name. I believe she was called Verity Newman. That was the author's name. Well, that's what name it said on the book. The Journal of Impossible Things. That's whose name was on the cover. But I don't know if she was just there for like being related to one of the people in it. But I really don't know. I really don't. But yeah, I love the way they wrote Verity Newman into it, because obviously Verity was the original producer of Doctor Who, and Sydney Newman was the original creator of Doctor Who. So if there was no Sydney Newman, there would be no Doctor Who as we know it. So the last thing I want to go over is the regeneration, which was beautifully directed. I can never get enough of it. In fact, I have actually got it on my phone. Here you go. Obviously that's flipped. Well, it's flipped to me anyway. Forward it on a bit. Yeah, so overall I'm giving this story a 9.5 out of 10 because it does seem to drag it bits. So yeah, 9.5 out of 10. My next review is going to be The Time of Angels and Flesh and Stone, which was supposed to be a couple of reviews back, but it got delayed because of the guy who waited, and Army of Ghosts and End of Time. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
And now it's time for one last bow. Like all your other selves, 11's hour is over now. The clock is striking 12s.
The siege of Trenzalore is now begun.
The Time Lord has entered the trap.
Help him change the future. Do it!
The Doctor is regenerating! If you want my eyes, come and get it!
Doctor Who on BBC One and BBC One HD.